Welcome to Cozy Corner, where timeless elegance meets the warmth of everyday living. Today, we step into a world of grand autumn comfort inspired by European manor homes. Think old world grace, golden candlelight, velvety textures, and a romantic hush of history layered into every corner. This is autumn not as a season, but as a feeling. Rich tapestries, leather-bound books, crackling fireplaces, copper and aged brass, and deep orchard harvest hues. In this cinematic journey, we'll explore 15 carefully curated inspirations to create a warm-luxe European manor ambiance inside your own home, whether you live in a city apartment or a countryside retreat. Each space carries a soul-soothing charm, whispering nostalgia and refinement while wrapping you in luxurious comfort. Breathe deeply. Fall has never felt this regal, this cozy, this beautifully lived in. Let's begin. One, Manor Hearth Glow. The Autumn Fireplace Ritual. A European manor begins at the hearth, a glowing heart that anchors the soul of the home. Imagine a grand stone or carved wood fireplace surrounded by antique candelabras, brass fire tools, and thick velvet drapery pooling on the floor. The room is bathed in the warm flicker of soft flames, creating a golden atmosphere where shadows dance gently along aged walls. Layer plush seating around the fire, tufted leather armchairs, a velvet chaise, and wool trolls waiting to warm your shoulders. Accent with stacked logs tied in twine, cast iron lanterns, and dried autumn botanicals in copper urns. A large gilded mirror above the mantel reflects candlelight, doubling the room's warmth. Scent the air with spiced orange, amber resin, and smoldering wood undertones. This is where slow mornings with a linen robe and herbal tea feel poetic, and evenings invite books, music, and quiet reflection. In a manor home, a fireplace isn't just warmth, it's heritage, ceremony, and quiet luxury. Number 2, Velvet and Tapestry Parlor, the art of plush elegance. Picture stepping into a sitting room draped in autumn's richest textures. Velvet upholstery in wine, harvest gold, and deep forest green. Tapestry pillows embroidered with scenes of foliage, florals, and heritage patterns. The atmosphere is cocooning, sensorial, designed for touch and comfort. A carved wood coffee table rests at the center, layered with leather-bound novels, a brass magnifying glass, and a silver tray holding mulled wine in crystal goblets. Curtains are heavy, pooling on the floor, filtering afternoon light into a warm amber haze. This is a room made for slow conversations, handwritten notes, quiet music, and the gentle clinking of porcelain teacups. Add botanical art framed in aged gold and a table lamp with a pleated silk shade casting a soft amber glow. A plush rug cushions every step, grounding the room in warmth. This is autumn's embrace, lush, opulent, and deeply comforting, where softness becomes sophistication. Three, Gilded gallery walls, portraits, frames, and heritage. In a European manor, walls tell stories. Each portrait, frame, and gilded detail a whisper from history. To bring this grandeur home, curate a gallery wall that feels heirloom-rich and beautifully nostalgic. Start with gold leaf frames and assorted ornate silhouettes, oval, scalloped, and Baroque carved designs. Mix classical oil portrait reproductions with botanical studies, sepia landscapes, and handwritten calligraphy pieces on aged paper. Let each artwork feel like it belonged to a different era, united by warm golden tones. Hang frames salon style, close but intentional, building a composition that feels intellectual and emotionally tied to time. Add picture lights or candle sconces to cast a dramatic amber glow across the artwork, creating museum-like depth. Anchor the wall with a dark wood console holding brass candlesticks, dried hydrangeas, and leather-bound journals. With each glance, the wall breathes quiet sophistication, a poetic bridge between memory, imagination, and heritage ambiance. Four, Harvest Dining Hall, medieval warmth and abundant tables. Imagine a manor dining hall bathed in soft candle glow, long rustic tables set with earthenware, antique brass cutlery, and linen napkins tied with twine and dried herbs. To recreate this romantic fall feast setting, combine rustic and refined elements, heavy wood tables paired with upholstered dining chairs, velvet seat cushions, and embroidered runners in autumn hues. Layer mismatched crystal goblets for wine and warm cider, stoneware plates in deep clay tones, and vintage silver platters filled with figs, apples, roasted chestnuts, and fresh bread. Candle clusters, tall tapers, chunky pillars, and lanterns flicker along the table, illuminating brass candlesticks and dried floral garlands. Soft classical strings play in the background, creating a gentle, aristocratic calm. This is a space for slow meals, laughter, storytelling, and a return to old-world dining rituals. Every dinner becomes a celebration of harvest, warmth, and timeless European elegance. Five, Velvet Staircase Moment, Drapery and Old World Grandeur. A grand staircase is often the soul of a manor, a place where sunlight kisses hand-carved banisters and velvet runners cascade like regal fabric from another time. To bring this spirit home, even in smaller spaces, create a framed moment of ascent. Choose a deep jewel-toned velvet runner, emerald, burgundy, or midnight blue, secured with aged brass rods. Accent wall moldings or wainscoting in cream or deep taupe. To enhance the dramatic contrast, a crystal or brass chandelier graces the landing, casting soft glimmers across polished wood steps. Place a tall urn with dried autumn branches or preserved roses at the base, and hang an ornate mirror to reflect warmth across the stairwell. A small antique chair with a stack of books completes the vignette, making the staircase feel less transitional and more ceremonial. Each step becomes a journey, a poetic transition between spaces, steeped in manor house romance. Six, Manor Library Sanctuary, books, leather, and quiet hours. The Manor Library embodies intellectual luxury, shelves of weathered books, soft leather accents, and quiet comfort. Recreate this world with dark wood shelves filled with classic volumes, botanical encyclopedias, and linen-bound poetry books. Add a tufted leather or velvet armchair, a wool throw, and a vintage brass reading lamp with a pleated shade. Introduce warm patina with globes, magnifying glasses, pressed botanical frames, and antique bookends shaped like lions or horses. Choose deep autumnal tones, mahogany, forest green, and burnished gold. Ground the space with a Persian-style rug, a small writing desk, and a tray holding tea, quills, or fountain pens. Burn a fragrance blending cedarwood, tobacco leaf, amber, and bergamot. This room whispers serenity, encouraging slow mornings spent journaling and evenings immersed in literature. Every corner exudes thoughtful elegance, a sanctuary for curiosity, warmth, and the gentle luxury of time well spent turning pages. Seven. Autumn Conservatory, sunlight, ivy, and antique wicker. A manor conservatory welcomes autumn sunlight like a secret prayer, warm rays dancing on terracotta tiles and trailing ivy climbing toward glass ceilings. To bring this charm home, design a bright garden nook filled with antique wicker seating, embroidered cushions, and potted fig trees. Mix dried stems with live greenery, eucalyptus bunches, preserved hydrangeas, and cascading ivies in clay pots. Iron plant stands, brass watering cans, and woven baskets evoke timeless rural elegance. A lace or linen curtain filters morning sun into a gentle cream glow, creating serenity for tea-sipping rituals and slow afternoons reading nature-themed books. Add a small cafe-style bistro table topped with candles, porcelain teacups, and a linen tablecloth in quiet earth tones. Let the space breathe with bird song, gentle breezes, and earthy aromatics. This corner becomes a living painting, a poetic embrace of nature, warmth, and European pastoral charm. 8. Bedchamber of Velvet Dreams, Old World Romance. The manor bedchamber embodies intimate refinement, a sanctuary layered in plush fabrics, soft candlelight, and heirloom detail. Create this atmosphere with a carved wooden or wrought iron bed dressed in velvet quilts, embroidered pillows, and linen sheets in warm ivory or plum. A canopy of sheer drapery adds romance, while tasseled throws and tufted benches deepen the sense of comfort. Introduce gilded mirrors, marble-top nightstands, and pleated lamps casting ambient amber light. Place dried roses in crystal vases, perfumed drawers with lavender sachets, and a tray holding bedtime tea and porcelain cups. Add a large rug underfoot, a vintage dressing table with glass perfume bottles, and framed pastoral prints above the headboard. The room exudes tenderness and elegance, a restful retreat for slow evenings and gentle autumn mornings. Here, time slows, breath deepens, and quiet beauty wraps itself around every texture and shadow. Nine. Candlelit corridor, poetry in shadows. Long, softly lit corridors in manor homes feel theatrical, intimate, and deeply poetic. Recreate this magic with wall sconces, clustered candles in brass holders, and whisper soft lighting that casts elongated shadows along paneled walls. Frame narrow hallways with wainscoting, moldings, or subtle wallpaper in damask or toile. Hang a series of sepia-toned sketches, handwritten letters, or antique key displays for visual intrigue. Ground the space with a runner in dark red or moss, bordered by fringe or tassel details. A delicate floral arrangement in a small urn adds grace, while a distant candle scent, amber and orange rind, gently perfuses the air. This hallway becomes more than passage. It becomes a cinematic experience, each step echoing soft history. Whether your home has a grand corridor or a compact apartment hallway, light transforms scale, turning a simple transition into a romantic invitation to linger and feel the season. 10. Aristocratic breakfast nook. Soft mornings and butter light. Imagine breakfast in a manor sunroom, sunlight brushing lace curtains, pastries dusted in sugar, silver cutlery resting softly beside porcelain teacups. To capture this refined calm, design a morning nook with a marble-top bistro table, caned-back chairs, and pleated shade wall lamps in warm ivory. Add floral china, a linen tablecloth, and fresh croissants or seasonal fruit arranged on a tiered metal stand. Place a small vase of dried wildflowers or a single peony in glass. Soft classical piano plays in the background as sunlight casts feather-light warmth across carved wood and crystal. This space is not grand in scale, but rich in sentiment, a daily ritual of elegance and ease. Whether nestled near a window or carved from a corner, it invites you to begin morning slowly, savoring quiet luxury and the sweetness of autumn light. 11. Manor mudroom, tweed, boots, and country charm. European manor mudrooms carry rustic sophistication, a blend of countryside practicality and aristocratic charm. Create yours with wood paneling, brass hooks, and woven baskets for scarves and riding gloves. Displayed tweed coats, wool hats, and leather boots lined neatly, embracing the equestrian spirit. Add a bench with tufted velvet cushions, plaid blankets, and a tall umbrella stand in brass or iron. A boot tray and vintage rug keep the space grounded and warm. Frame botanical prints above, and tuck a cane or walking stick into a corner for heritage detail. A copper bowl holds dog biscuits by the door, honoring loyal companions of estate life. This transitional space becomes its own world, refined yet pastoral, functional yet romantic. It signals arrival, comfort, and ritual, inviting you to step into autumn's embrace as you enter or leave your home. 12. Autumn Manor Garden, iron gates, and majestic quiet. Even without acres of land, you can evoke the poetic serenity of manor gardens. Start with wrought iron accents, plant stands, trellises, or decorative gates. Plant climbing roses, ivy, lavender, and rosemary to build texture and timeless fragrance. Place stone or terracotta urns brimming with dried hydrangeas and seasonal greenery. Add a wrought iron bench draped with a tartan throw. A lantern glows beside it as evening falls. Surround with moss-kissed stepping stones, ceramic bird baths, and rustic terracotta pots. Let fallen leaves rest gently instead of sweeping them immediately, a nod to natural elegance. Here, nature isn't controlled, it's honored. A tranquil autumn mist in early mornings, rustling leaves in gentle breezes, and warm lamplight at dusk create a cinematic country estate mood, even in a small patio or balcony. Each moment feels like stepping into a pastoral painting, one where silence is beautiful and time lingers softly. 13. Heritage kitchen warmth, copper, oak, and baking days. A manor kitchen blends warmth, practicality, and gentle refinement. Think oak cabinets, stone counters, copper pots hanging above, and open shelving filled with ceramic pitchers and linen towels. Create a baking day vignette. Rolling pins, flour in glass jars, and seasonal fruits in wicker baskets. Add brass hardware, pleated sconce lights, and antique cookbooks leaning casually. Layered textiles, striped linens, wool rugs, and embroidered aprons hung from hooks. Display herbs tied with twine or hanging to dry near the window, inviting rustic fragrance. A tea kettle simmers, cinnamon and clove fill the air. Wooden stools and carved chairs gather around a central table where dough rests under linen cloth. This kitchen is both lived in and luxurious, a place where tradition meets tenderness. Here, you don't just cook, you create memories, soft warmth, and moments of autumn comfort wrapped in timeless manor house charm. 14. The Writing Bureau. Letters, wax, and sentiment. In a European manor, writing desks signify romance, handwritten letters, journaled thoughts, and the quiet unfolding of personal history. Build your own writing sanctuary with the carved wood bureau, leather blotter, and antique brass candle holder. Place thick stationery, fountain pens, and sealing wax beside vintage envelopes tied in ribbon. Add a small crystal vase with dried roses and a porcelain teacup. The chair, velvet covered or caneback, should feel inviting yet noble. Hang a small portrait or botanical sketch above and let soft light filter through lace curtains. This space isn't about productivity. It's about emotion, reflection, and the gentleness of slowness. Here, autumn thoughts find ink. Gratitude breathes softly, and timeless romance becomes tangible. A desk like this is a reminder. In a fast world, handwritten sentiment remains one of the purest luxuries. Grand Autumn Entrance, First Impressions of Grace. The entrance to a manor sets the tone, stately, warm, and richly layered in detail. To recreate this feeling, begin with a dark wood console table, brass lamps, and an ornate gilded mirror. Place a crystal bowl filled with seasonal fruits, pomegranates, pears, apples, alongside a tray holding vintage keys and dried florals. Tall urns filled with branches frame the doorway, while a Persian-style rug grounds the space in color and warmth. Hang a framed coat of arms or classical still life painting on the wall, and add a woven basket for umbrellas, wool scarves, and walking sticks. Copper lanterns flicker at night, greeting guests with soft elegance. This entrance whispers welcome with aristocratic calm, a prelude to the warm-luxe world inside. Every arrival feels ceremonial, every departure touched with grace. In a world that moves quickly, a European autumn manor home reminds us of the beauty of stillness. Rich textures, soft candlelight, orchestras of shadow and warmth, and the gentle romance of heritage. These spaces invite long mornings, thoughtful evenings, and a deeper connection to comfort and tradition. By layering velvet, wood, candlelight, literature, and seasonal richness, your home becomes not just a place to live, but a place to feel, reflect, savor, and dream. May your autumn feel as grand and poetic as an old European estate, warm, grounded, and endlessly luxurious.